Robert Oakley with Home Smart Realty Group, here with Dillon Iarussi with 5280 Property Inspections, and want to introduce our team members to our clients and customers, and really wanted to give you a chance to kind of tell people what you do, more about your company, and why it's so important we have home inspections done.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to. As Robert said, we are with 5280 Property Inspections. I'm one of the owner, and property inspections are actually a key part to buying a house, because of the fact that this is the opportunity as someone like a buyer has to be able to come in and really evaluate the house, see what's going on, have a professional put their eyes on it, and be able to work up a comprehensive report to be able to understand what they're getting into before they buy it.
So what are some of the things you do? I mean, you got do-it-yourselfers who come in, they think they can look at the exterior or interior, just kind of look, they're not seeing anything that might stand out. But what are some of the different services you offer that are really, could be very costly that they don't have a professional do down the road?
I think the overall services that we offer, that enveloping of the entire property inspection is going to be a huge value, but things like a sewer scope is going to be vital to that, radon test, even an HVAC certification possibly, air quality test to be able to see if there's things growing behind the walls, such as like fungus or things like that may not be detectable to the eyes, are going to be all valuable services that would come with an inspection if the client decides to have those.
Have in their toolbox, the scopes and the radon testing capabilities. And I know we did a property up in Firestone that you did that had a fairly new roof. Everybody seemed to have new roofs after last year's hailstorms. I want to say it was less than 6 months old, but you found some things in that property that even the county where they inspected didn't catch, the previous roofing company didn't catch, and we were able to get that resolved. So those are things that the do-it-yourselfer probably isn't going to know either.
Exactly.
So what's your background? How'd you get into the inspection business?
So I actually grew up in the construction industry. My family came from building homes, construction in general, in the sense of everything, and so I looked at it and said, well, I've got a good background in everything. It's funny, Colorado state law actually doesn't require that inspectors be certified, but we found that having that solid certification and bringing in a high ethical value to the industry was something that would separate us and all of our inspectors. So we got into it, inspecting it, understanding construction as an overall background, and got certified and have now been successful with 5280.
And that really is a huge difference. Like you said, they don't have to have a certification of state law, so anybody could technically be an inspector. Just throw a sticker on their car and become an inspector. But having the background, understanding the construction, the inner workings of a house, definitely sets you apart. And I know legally we can't dictate who our customers use. We have to give several references. I think they always come back and ask for you anyway, because of our experience with you and what you've done. What are some of the maybe the big items that you catch that can be very costly? I know the sewer, bad sewer line can be a huge issue. What else have you kind of found over the years that maybe people would have missed on their own?
I think roofs are one of them. There's things like thermal cracking or even blistering that people don't understand with an untrained eye what that's caused from, and really the life that's left in that roof. Siding issues, water damage that seems small that has cost actually thousands of dollars to get repaired and remediated, that led to other issues. And overall just maintenance things that may seem small if it's one item, but the overall house added up.
In the total scheme of things, you're maybe spending $400,000 and up. Colorado's average price, Denver's average price, well over $500,000 in most neighborhoods. What's kind of the cost structure as far as the range? I know there's variables depending on the location and so forth, but kind of give an idea of what the different costs would be, and then what you would recommend adding to the basics.
Yeah, so our base price starts out at $300.
Okay.
That goes up to about 1,000 square feet, and then it goes up $25 per X amount of square feet after that. So our highest price range for I think it's 5,000 square feet is $550, and that's a base inspection. So that's going to cover everything from the roof all the way down to the lowest part of the basement, and everything in between. If someone wanted to add like a sewer scope or a radon test, sewer scope is $150, radon test is $150, air quality test is $275. And all of those are additional services that clients can add to their inspection.
We always encourage it because, again, this is one of the biggest purchases, if not typically the biggest purchase you're going to make in your life, and much better to find out now than find out later. Now, does your company also, are you a separate company that does construction or roofing still?
We do, yeah. So it's a sister company, that's Blue Spruce Construction Group, and that's a Class A licensed contracting company that does exterior renovations and restoration services.
Okay, so we're not trying to sell them a service because that's a whole separate deal, but it's critical that you have the experience and knowledge to be able to point things out that, standing on the ground, looking at the roof, they all may look good.
Yeah.
But in reality is there could be thousands of dollars of damage there.
Exactly.
Tell a little bit as far as how to contact you. Okay with us sharing the video and letting people reach out to you?
Yeah, absolutely. You guys can find us at 5280propertyinspection.com. Find us on Google. You can reach out to us at info@5280propertyinspections.com. And then you can actually reach out to me directly as well if you'd like. My number is 720-490-1576, and we'd be glad to help you. And of course, anytime you come in contact with Robert, put you in touch with us.
And it doesn't always have to be a buyer doing it. I mean, there's an opportunity for sellers to do a pre-inspection.
Yep.
So they can kind of eliminate, because I do get a lot of sellers just terrified. What are they going to find? Well, eliminate that. Now you have your own hand independent source of, going in, what items might need to be fixed or addressed, especially if it's maybe a seller who's selling for family. They're not familiar with the house. Maybe they've rented it. There's things they just don't know what might have happened. So always opportunity
absolutely.
there. So we always tell people, in the old days when I started in real estate, we always showed up, we stayed through the whole inspection. We're not inspectors, we're not contractors, but that was just the norm, the common courtesy to our customers. But now, the last few years, there's been lawsuits where we don't want to imply that we're the professional, that's your job. So what's typically the length of time it takes for a basic inspection, and how do you like to handle that?
A typical inspection for a house between 2,000 to 3,000 square feet is about 2 to 2.5 hours. That's going to allow us to fully submerge ourselves into that property and get as much information as we can on that property. And then, if the clients want to show up to the middle, towards the end of that, and measure rooms off or whatever the case they would like to do, they're more than welcome to. But at the end of it, we always like to walk through the entire property and go over any kind of items that may have come up and answer any questions that they're going to have about the new property.
Right, well, and that's what I like to tell people. You don't want to sit here for 2.5 hours twiddling your thumbs or interrupting you, asking questions, and you're breaking your flow and you may end up missing something. Much better, we like to come at the end of the inspection, do a recap. You've got all the reports. What do you send people when they're done? What are they going to expect from you?
So they're going to get a full comprehensive report that goes through every single item. So all the items are broken down. For example, the roof is in its own separate category, the exterior, the plumbing, the electrical, even the appliances, down to the appliances are all tested, and they're all in their own separate category of a report. And so they're going to get, I believe it's 17 different categories of broken down items, even into a mitigation system. If the house has a mitigation system, that's scrutinized and inspected as well.
So I was looking at past experiences I've had, good or bad. The whole purpose of the inspection is not to kill a deal. And that's not why you're here, to try to find out every possible thing wrong. You're really very reassuring, whether it's a major problem or a minor problem. You set people's minds at ease and explain really how serious or how much of an issue they should make out of it. Because again, the inspection process isn't a way to try to kill a deal. And I've seen some inspectors try to do that. They try to create value for themselves, and they try to nitpick everything to death. That's really not the purpose. It's to find genuine, sincere issues. So, again, appreciate you taking care of this property. How did this one go today's inspection?
This one was great. There's some minor maintenance stuff, which every house is going to have.
Every house, even a new house.
Even a brand new house. And so that's something that we like to tell all of our agents' clients that, come into it expecting some maintenance to be done. Okay. And that's perfectly normal, and that's fine. And we address it as it comes along. But this one was great.
So speaking of new, I've got a couple, Randy and Liz. They're getting ready to close on new construction in a couple weeks. Do you do inspections on new construction as well?
Absolutely.
Any difference in price structure there? All still the same? Or?
There's not, and it's still the same because even with new construction, there is a lot of things that a builder may have forgotten about. And so we still give the same attention and detail to a new construction house, actually even more so because they have a warranty period that they can go back and get those items addressed and fixed.
I know some people, money's tight and a lot of fees, so they still have typically a year's warranty or more. So then maybe they do it during that window, but if you can ideally do it before. And just a quick story, then when we grab something to eat, but I had a property when I was selling in Florida, brand new construction, 2-story, beautiful home. They closed in the dry season, and when the spring hit and the rainy season hit, they had missed the roof ridge cap.
Oh no.
So water poured through well, they don't have basements there, but through both stories. The whole house eventually had to be gutted, all the drywall taken out. It was, the builder bought it back for them. But had they checked that, the county's busy, there was a lot of building going on. County inspectors didn't catch it, the builder didn't catch it, home inspection would have caught that.
Yep.
So even though it's new construction, don't assume everything's, these guys, I've had inspectors do stuff for me. They come in and look, yeah, you got all the plugs, and they leave. They don't really look at anything. They're just too busy. So definitely
and one thing to keep in mind with a new inspection is that these houses are being built so quickly right now that things like a sewer line, the guys could be backfilling that trench and crush that pipe, or they could break it, or it could have an offset where the two pipes are joined. And so all those things, it's just really a good insurance policy for you to have going into a property beforehand to know exactly what's wrong with it. Same thing with radon. A lot of people think that radon is something that's only in old homes. Radon is one of those things where this house could have high radon levels and then the house next to it have nothing. And so it's just, like I said, a great insurance policy to have for the amount of money that people are spending on homes here in Colorado, to be able to have it fully inspected to know exactly what you're getting into.
Great idea. Well, I appreciate you being flexible. I know we had you scheduled to inspect last week, which I think you replied within a day or two from when under contract. We have a blizzard, so we had to reschedule, so now we're at our deadline, but appreciate you helping all of our customers and clients.
Absolutely.
Thanks again.